Hi, this is introductory video of RStudio, wherein we are going to talk about R programming language. So this R programming language is based on R as well as RStudio. So in the beginning, we need to configure these R and RStudio. RStudio is basically it is on the top of R. So it is a free source, and being R being a computer language, and it is the choice of most of the data scientists in everyday work. It is open source, freely available software, and widely used by the professionals like statisticians or the data scientists. R has a large collection of intermediate tools and excellent graphics tools for the data analysis. So the graphical part of R Studio is quite good. If we talk about the interface, so in R there is console only wherein we write the programs and we get the entire output from there. The moment R Studio comes on the top of R, so we have a big integrated development environment. So let's have a look of RStudio. So this is how RStudio looks like. We have four windows. One is for writing the program, wherein we write entire program. That is the editor. And the second window is about the console, wherein the entire output or whatever we write, the programming as well as output comes here. Then third window is about the environment, wherein entire object and data frame is created. And then the fourth environment is about the packages, plots, and a lot of help and information comes in. So this is the overview of our interface, that how our interface looks like. In R, the best part is the packages. So there are so many packages available in R that we use as per the statistical analysis. These all packages are freely available on RCRAN. So RCRAN is a place from where we download entire packages, and these packages are added into the R software. Now we are going to talk about how to install RStudio. So this is link for installation of R as well as RStudio. So for this study purpose, we suggest to download RStudio, which is of 2.1.1 version or the higher version. The latest is 3.4 something is going around. So you can download any of the version, but essentially it is required to the higher version of 2.1.1. As well as for RStudio, the version requires is 0.99.902 or the latest one. So that is what the basic requirement for R programming is. Now let's talk about RCRAN. RCRAN is basically it's a it's a place wherein the entire package is been stored. So these packages are contributed by the professionals, and essentially this the CRAN is available at globally at multiple places, so that the moment you try to download your package from RCRAN, so it takes the nearest place automatically, and then download the package. So it is irrespective. I mean, as a user, we hardly come to know that from which place this package being downloaded. But this is how the entire structure of RCRAN goes like. Now let's talk about the fundamental of R language. So now we are going to talk about the R language. So essentially, as R is a language, so we need to know some basic program writing data frame, or you can say some syntax, the way how R programming is written. Here we are going to talk about the calculators. So as we use calculators, calculators are basically the operators. So we are going to talk about the operators, that which all operators we use in R programming. So there are n number of operators available. Some example is given like plus minus. These are the basic operators that we can use. Here Here a mathematical function, like a mathematical function is given 17 multiply 0.035, then we are with a power of 1 upon 3. So that is what we are going to do. So it's a very basic multiplication. Then we are going to compute log 10, then exponential of 1, then 3 to the power minus 1. So these are the values which we are going to compute. Let's see in our environment that how the computation goes like. So this is my first object, or you can say this is my first calculation which I need to perform. So here we simply select this, and there is run option. The moment we run, we get the calculation being calculated here. So essentially you see here, this is the program which I wrote, and this is the output of that program, or you can say that calculation. Here the program that is written, that also comes to the console, as well as the output also comes in the console. Output is always written with a big bracket that is called the square bracket, and start with 1. 1 indicates about the position of the output. There may be instances wherein we have multiple outputs. So in those cases, we come to know that what is the ranking, or what is the position of the output. That's the reason that it starts from 1, and essentially it goes up. So for first line, it say that this is the first line, this is first element, then second element, third element it comes, and there are certain default numbers to which it goes. Then after, again a new bracket is created, and that bracket start with the new position of the variable, that how it's coming like. We'll see in some other example. Then with this is log 10. So this is value of log 10. This is exponential. So this is value of exponential 1. And this is how the power 3 to the power minus 1. That is essentially we are saying this is what value is coming here. So this all is what we computed. So these are, here we have used only the operators to perform certain tasks, or to certain mathematical operations. Now essentially in any of the software, we need to create a variable. So variable creation is what, wherein we name a value, and then essentially we use those name to run certain kind of computation using those values. Let me clean this console. Console is cleaned by a shortcut called this call Control L. So the moment we press Control L, console become clear, because the moment we goes up into the programming, we need to clear the console. Otherwise, the entire cluttering is there in your environment, which then does not look very good. Now we are going to create a variable. So here we are saying that there is a variable called x, and the value of variable is 12.6. So this is a way how the variable is created. The moment I run, you see there is in my environment, a variable x is created, and the value of that variable is 12.6. So this is how the variable creation. There is now, so the code that is written here, that that code help us to create a variable called x. Now if I want to see the value of x, so for that simply write x, run it, we'll get the value of x, like what exactly the value of x is. This is one way. This is not essential to use the arrow sign. Even we can create like y is equal to 5. So is equal to sign is also helpful to create a variable. Likewise here, a variable y is created. Equality is rarely used, but R support equal sign as well. But in our tutorial, throughout we'll talk about this method of variable creation, wherein we create the variable. So this is what we saw. So here a calculator is used to create a variable. We also talk about how the value of how a variable is created. Now, suppose we want to create a series of variable, like I want to assign 3, 7, 9, 11 to a variable y. So for that, we use C function. C function help us to create a series of variables. Like here, again we are going to create a variable called y, and the value of y is 3, 7, 9, 11. These are the four values. Essentially, we need comma in between the different values. So we select, run it. You see, an object y is created. If you want to check the value of y, select y and run it. So the value which is assigned to the variable y, those all values are printed here. So those all information is given to the console. So this is how uh, uh, a series, a variable is, this is called, technically this is called vector. So vector is essentially has certain dimension. So we are saying that in this vector y, there are four values. The variable y has four values: 3, 7, 9, and 11. That this is another way wherein we use scan function to assign value to certain variables. Let's first see this the feature of this function, then we'll come back to the PPT. Here we are assigning some blank value to variable called z. So the moment I run it, you see in console is saying that what is the value of your first element. Suppose I am saying the value of my first element is 8, then enter. Then it says what is the value of your second element. I'm saying 4, then enter. Now I do not want to assign value of my third element, so again enter it. It is saying that read 2 times. Now if I want to see the value of z at this moment, so simply select z and run it. It says that the value of z is 8 and 4. So the value which I assign step by step, those values are been stored for the z variable. So that is how the scan function help us to to create a series of variable. I can go along here. I stop at third step. You can go along to n number of steps, and essentially this creates the multiple steps create different values which been added to the z variable, and accordingly essentially it creates a vector. So this is another way to create a vector. Now we are going to talk about the repeats. Suppose I want to create a character vector a, and the value of a I want 10 times. So for that there is function called rep, that is repeat. So repeat help us to create a variable n number of times. Let's see some example, then we'll come back to PPT. Here, remember we are not creating an object at this moment. We are simply printing something to console. So using rep function and saying I want value of a printed 10 times. So this is how we print value of a 10 times. That is a is written 10 times. Now this is one value. Suppose I want to write a series of values like from 1 to 6. I want to write from 1 to 6 two times. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. again 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is here your first element is the series and second element is in the times, that is the frequency to which we are going to write this program. So this is how this is written twice. Now there is another technical specification which says that element of series to be repeated. In previous case we repeated series. Now we are the next requirement is to element of a series to be repeated. Let me run this code. So here essentially what are we doing? We are saying that right from 1 to 6 and repeat this 3 and 6. So remember why this 6 is required. Here we are repeating right from 1 I am repeating 3 times, 2 I am repeating 3 times, 3 I am repeating 3 times, 4 I am repeating 3 times, 5 I am repeating 3 times, 6 I am repeating 6 times. And though essentially we need to give dimension in this type of programming style, we need to write the same dimension which is given in my first case. Now let's see the second case. Here, what is the difference between these two programs? In first program, A is written 3 times. In second program, 1 is written in first program, 1 is written 3 times. In second program, 1 is written 3 times, but in the sequence. So that is the difference between using a repetitive option and without rep option. And the scope of 6 is here in this style of programming is required. Reason being, we are saying that go from 1 to 6, that is assigned here, and the value is put here, the same value that is called a dimension, same dimension is also written as the second element of the program. And that is the major difference between these two programs. Let's see some another example. As I say that the dimension must be the same. Here is 6, so we need 6 here as well. Now what I'm doing, in this case I am putting 6 here and writing 7 here. Let me run this program. It throws an error. It says that invalid argument. So the essential requirement is we must have the same dimension that is written for the repetitive measures. So this is for 1 to 6 I want to repeat 3. So dimension of this is what? 6. Even if I reduce the dimension in earlier case it was 6, I increase to 7. If I bring back it to 5, again it throws some error. So be careful when you write the element of a series to be repeated. It's not repeated series. I am saying the element of the series to be repeated. So be careful about the dimension that the dimension must be the same at both the places. So that is what all written here. So in first example we are repeating A 10 times. In second example we are saying 1 to 6 2 times. In the third example we are saying 1 to 6 we are element of a series to be repeated. So we are repeating the element of the series. Now we are going to talk about some generating factor labels, that how factors been generated. So for that we have GL function to generate label of factors. So essentially what happens, we come to know about the labels. Label is what essentially the unique number being used into the data. So let's see the example of generating label. So GL function help us. So I'm saying that start from 1 and goes till 5. So remember, whenever in GL your first element is the is the upper boundary, and by default it starts from 1. And I'm saying that repeat it 3 times. So whatever element comes here, we need to repeat those elements 3 times. So if I run it, we'll get that it starts from 1, goes till 5, and these values are repeated 3 times. Reason being, here 3 is written, and the label is what the unique values used for this object creation. What comes under label. So this is how the GL function is used. Now, second example is to repeat the whole pattern. So here what are we saying? That start from 1, goes till 5, 3 times I want, and the total length I want 30. That is, like here, from it starts from 1, it is going till 5, again starting from 1, and going onwards till the time the entire length, that is from here to here, the total number of element, not till the 30. That is, it is saying that start from 1, goes till 5, repeating every element 3 times till the total length of element is 30. So that's what the meaning of this program is. So we are doing the same stuff. So you see, from here to here, there are 30 elements, and essentially label is from 1 to 5. Now, if you want to reduce the label, that is, if you want to reduce the total number of element, that is 25, so simply put 25 and see, in this case, we'll get something else. So here there are 25 elements only. So we can control the number of element by help of GL function. That is, by help of GL option. So this is first part of tutorial. We'll talk about more and more function in next part.